everyone, welcome to CodeSoft. In this video, we are going to talk about what is equilibrium point or pivot index in an array. So let's get started. Now, what does the problem statement tell us? It says that you are given an array of integers. Your task is to find out the leftmost index of element whose left sum is equal to right sum. Okay, what do I mean by this is that suppose you are given an array that is -7, 1, 5, 2, -4, 3 and 0. Okay, and if we look at the third index, that is the element 2, right? And the left sum of this is -7 plus 1 and 5 because there are three elements present to the left of 2, right? And the left sum becomes -7. Similarly, if we look at the right, there are three elements -4, 3 and 0, the sum of which equals to -1 again. So you can see this index 3 or element 2, this is the pivot index or pivot element because the left sum is equal to the right sum in this particular case, right? So this is what we actually have to find out in this question. So the brute force approach that you might be thinking is that, okay, right, you are given an array, you can traverse through the array, go to each element and then calculate the left sum and right sum to that particular element. If they are equal, just print it. If not, move to the next element. Correct. This can be a good possible solution to this. But again, this will actually have a time complexity of O of n square, which is actually bad. And this question is designed to be solved in O of n time, right? So let's look at the optimized approach to this question. So the optimized approach is this. Let's go to the editor and code this side by side for more understanding. So I have created the same array here, right? And I have initialized the variable n equals to 7 because this is holding the size of the array, that is 7 integers. Correct. Now the first step in this optimized logic says that first calculate the entire sum. Okay, so let's create a variable named sum, or rather let's name it as left sum. We will know in a bit that why we are naming this so, and initialize it with 0 because initially it is having nothing attached to it. So this is our left sum, correct? So now what we have to do, we have to calculate the entire sum in this, correct? So for calculating the entire sum, we can actually loop through the entire array and add the value of element of the array to the left sum. So this become left sum plus equal plus arri. Correct. So at the end of the loop, the left sum is actually having the entire sum, right? Now the next step says that we need to declare another variable that will actually be storing the right sum. Okay. So we create another variable. Let's name it as right sum. Again, initialize it to 0 because it is not having any value. Correct. Now what the logic says is that we have got the left sum and the right sum variables created. Now what the logic says that start traversing from the end. Okay. Pick one element, like pick one by one each element. First pick 0, then -3, then 4 and so on. What you do is first subtract this value from the left sum variable. Okay. Why so? Because the left sum variable initially is having the entire sum. But for this particular index, we do not want that this value should actually this value should actually be included in the left sum. So we will subtract this value from left sum. Okay. After doing so, we will compare it with the right sum because if we talk about 0, there is no right element present to it. So right sum will actually be equals to 0, and similar is the case that right sum is equal to 0. We will actually compare the left sum and right sum after subtracting the array's element from the left sum. Okay. And if they are equal, we will actually print the index. So let's code this much logic. So first we need to traverse from right to left, that is in reverse order. So I will be initialized as n minus 1. I should actually be greater than equal to 0 and I minus minus. Correct. Now what you have to do, we just need to subtract the ARRI value from sum. Okay. So what we have done is our sum, we had created a variable sum, and the sum was actually -7, 1, 5, that is equals to -1, plus 2 equals to 1, 1 minus 4 equals to -3, -3 plus 3 equals to 0, and plus 0 equals to 0. So let's just write it that sum is actually sum was 0 till here, right? And we have subtracted ARRI from it. ARRI was 0. So basically sum till here is 0, right? And right sum is also equal to 0 because there is no element present to the right of this element. So what we will do, we will compare left sum equal to right sum. So if left sum equal to right sum, let's create another variable named index which will store our pivot index. Initialize it with -1 that it is not having any pivot element, right? So if this is the case, put I, if i's value inside index. So what we are doing is we are actually subtracting the right values from the left sum and uh, and comparing it with right sum. If they are equal, we are updating the index, right? If suppose this is not the case, that left sum is not equals to right sum, what we have to do, we have to just move one step left. But now you have to see, like for let's say if I talk about this element, that is the 3 element, the right of it should actually be including this value also, right? So before moving to the next iteration, I will actually add ARRI to right sum. So right sum is equal to right sum plus ARRI. Correct. And this is how the algorithm will work. Correct. So what it is doing, it has first calculated all in the entire sum, that is the left sum. Then from for each element, it subtracts the element from the left sum and adds that value to the right sum, compares both these values. If they are equal, it returns the index and it then moves towards the left because we actually want the leftmost element. That is why the last updated value of index will be our answer. Correct. So if at the end of the loop, if I just see out index, so it should actually be equal to 3. That is this element because we want this is the leftmost pivot element. I have saved this. I am building it. And there is an array that sum is not declared, right? Because we have named it as left sum. So we can update this again, saving it and building it. And we have got our index 3, that is this element. So this is the pivot element that we are actually wanting. So I hope this optimized solution is clear to you. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to add more festoons into your knowledge garland. Until then, please keep subscribing. Thank you.